Welcome back to Just Take 3. I know it's been a little time. I ain't been posting much. I had some personal issues and stuff like that. But I just want to talk about the new band list. It just come out. And there's three cards. I just wonder why it was banned. The main thing, what I always liked about Commander was it was the internal format. That means you should have been able to play cards from the beginning till now. And this ban list and the Power 9, I don't agree with it being banned at all. But on the other sense, I can understand because that's just one of them issues. Not many people has the financial ability to spend, and I can understand to a point with the collectors, but if I had a Black Lotus in a deck and that card got destroyed, that's one less Black Lotus in the world. So they would drive the value up on the other Black Lotuses. I'm pretty sure that's how collecting works. And so, but I just want to get back to talking about the three cards. I kind of wish they didn't ban. And my reasons why is, well, the first one is Jewel Lotus. I don't understand why that got banned. It was only mana was allowed to be spent on your commander. Nothing else. You could not use that mana for nothing else. It was just solely for commander. And that was it. I do not understand why Jewel Lotus was banned. I'm going to probably get a lot of hate on that. But you know what? I don't understand that. Dark Side Ascension. I don't understand why that was banned. I can understand, but I might be a little biased on that because it's a goblin, pirates and, all kinds of fun stuff. I don't agree with it. I honestly do not agree with this ban list at all. And I know I'm going to get blowback from Smango, but Mana Crypt, I think that was a slap in everybody's face who plays Commander, plays Magic, and who is willing to collect. I do not agree with Mana Crypt being banned out of Commander at all. Now, I've said it on the podcast, I've said it on my channel. I don't like playing Commander, as much as I like playing Pauper. But the one thing Commander had in its ranks was it was an internal format. I do not agree with the ban list. And when you got people out there spending hundreds of dollars on Jewel Lotus, you got people spending hundreds of dollars on Mana Crypt just to have a copy of it in their personal collection and stuff like that. That is outrageous, in my opinion. I get there's some cards needs to be restricted, but why in Commander? Commander is not a casual format. Not anymore. Maybe back in the beginning when Sheldon and the others who decided to put a deck together for Commander. And to say, I think that was casual back in that time. Now, you got two versions of Commander as we speak right now. You got competitive and you got casual. And I think the only casual side of Commander is precons. I think if you had a SOAR or a small playgroup only played a casual game of Commander, and it was only precons only, no upgrades, no nothing, I think that's the closest thing you can get to a casual game of Commander. Now that's not how the game is played right now. It is not. And you got small play groups goes to the LGSs. They're throwing everything in their decks they can possibly make work. I mean, they're throwing everything at you but the kitchen sink. I do not agree with this ban list. I'm just so irritated on this list. Now, the other fourth one, I don't really care. You know, it was a problem in Modern. I get that. But even on that say, Commander should be internal. They should not be banning cards out of it. If anything, they should be unbanning cards. Because there's people out there, here's how the world works, first off. People has more money than you. They can afford to buy these high-priced cards. It is not their fault. They got more money than you. You know, they got more money than I got. Okay, let's just be honest here. I can sit and play the game right now and get my hind end kicked and still have a good time. Enjoy myself even while I'm losing. Now, when you are playing with a person, and this is the irony of my outlook on this. If you got a person is telling you, oh, this ain't this type of deck and it ain't this, it's slightly upgraded or it's slightly been tinkered with. And when you're playing this person and they basically say, oh, it started off as a precon, but now it's pretty well homebrew. I took 4 or 5 precons and I combined them together. No, that's not a precon at that moment in time. You know, and truthfully, I just disagree with it. I disagree with banning cards. I can understand if there's tournaments actively going on and, you know, there's leagues and stuff like that. And Commander is starting to go that direction. But at the same time, is it really? I mean, the games takes anywhere from an hour to 2 hours to play a normal game of Commander, and that's using precons. The game takes so long. You know, when you show up at an event or you show up at a local play group and whatever, most of the time you're only getting to play one game before you have to leave. Modern, I can understand there's a little more restrictions. I can understand in Pauper there's a little more restriction. It's because most of them games is only lasting 5 to 10 minutes at best. You know, it just depends who draws what and when they draw it. That's reality, Wizards of the Coast. I do not agree with the ban list. I'm luckily I did not get any of these cards was banned, or my attitude would have been really livid on this matter. Because especially if I would have spent $300-400 on a Mana Crypt, and all of a sudden the value of that thing is going to plummet to $20-30 maybe in a year or two, I would have been really salty on that. A Jewel Lotus was one of my favorite cards in Magic. Actually, yesterday I was going to do a card of the day, and I was going to name Jewel Lotus in that. And I just so happened to be scrolling through TikTok of all places, and I see the ban list. And I'm like, is that real? And I go to Commander ban list, I just Google it, and there it is. Mana Crypt, Dark Side Ascension, and Jewel Lotus. I do not agree. Somebody from Wizard of the Coast, you need to use your heads, and you need to say, okay, this is supposed to be an internal format. I understand. Why are you banning stuff? The more you ban, the more it's not an internal format. And I really like that. You know, the internal format stuff, I prefer playing over a sealed product or a standard, modern. I think that goes back to 8th Dynasty. But still, that's not internal. I would like to be able, if I could buy a few cards out of the 1993 or 94 releases, I could put in a deck. And you know what? Even if that would have been a Mox Sapphire or a Time Walk or any of the Power Nines, that's what internal means. Yeah, we can still build these decks, and I know that's where your minds is for tabletop Magic. But the thing is, nobody wants to play tabletop Magic. I think it's a fun experience. I have played, really a game with just throw a bunch of cards together, see what happens. Nothing probably legal in them decks. You couldn't classify it, it's modern, or you couldn't classify it as pauper, or you couldn't, whatever. I get that. But these ban lists, I do not understand. If there ain't actively tournaments going on, why are you banning the cards? And I don't own the card. That's the funny thing about it. And it's got my blood pressure up thinking about it. Because 2 of them cards, all 3 of them, what I'm irritated was, I was hoping to buy a Dark Side Ascension. I was hoping I could get a collector box of Ixalan Caverns and pull a Mana Crypt. Every time I have the extra money, I've walked into a game store and they have Commander Masters. I buy a pack just to hope I can pull a Jewel Lotus. What are you doing? Stop banning stuff with little to no reason. I'm out.